I'm a registered nurse. I got my Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Wyoming back in '85. So I've been a nurse for 31 years. My passion is in helping people take better care of their bodies, and I love working with the pediatric population, which brought me to Hawthorn University. I really wanted to grow my knowledge in holistic nutrition, so I really thought I was going to have to choose health educator or holistic nutrition. So I was thrilled to find the degree at Hawthorn University, the master's degree in health and nutrition education.
I want to welcome everybody. I'm Paula Bartholomew, and I'm sure delighted that you've joined me for Hawthorn University's All About Alumni series. This is where we get to hear directly from our graduates about the things they're doing after graduation in their professional work. I get to be the moderator today, and we're going to meet with Jenny Yelle. Jenny graduated from Hawthorn's Master in Health and Nutrition Education program back in 2015. She graduated summa cum laude, which put her on the president's list, and I asked Jenny to present, and she's going to talk with us about designing and managing a successful website. She's sure got one, Au Natural Nutrition, and so she'll be talking about what it takes to manage its operation and to keep a continued attraction of a loyal online audience too. So hello, Jenny, and welcome. I'm excited to be here together.
Hey, Paula, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, it's terrific. So I'll lead us off, and it's my pleasure to introduce you. So if you're ready, I'll start with that.
Okay.
All right. Jenny Yelle is a holistic wellness educator with a degree in health and nutrition education from Hawthorn University, and Jenny brings glamour to the realm of holistic wellness and believes in taking nutritional approach to beauty and aging gracefully. Her wish is that everyone can feel and look beautiful and live a beautiful, vibrant life simply by using the power of nutrient-rich foods and living a natural lifestyle, radiating beautiful health. Jenny's the founder of a very popular website, Au Natural Nutrition. This is where she shares her delicious whole food recipes and healthy living articles. And Jenny lives in Nashville, Tennessee area with her husband, and together they've raised 2 sons. And Jenny enjoys yoga, community volunteer work, and is an avid tennis player. I want to congratulate you. I think your son just graduated from Johns Hopkins, right, with a dual degree?
Yes, he did. Thank you. I'm so proud of him. He graduated in 4 years with a master's in math and a bachelor's in physics, and now he is ready to start his PhD in physics. And I am a beaming proud mother. Yes, I am.
You should be. That's quite the accomplishment to get through that kind of program in 4 years. Wow.
Yeah, yes.
Very impressive. All right. Well, thanks for being here, Jenny. And I'd like to start by asking you what influenced your decision to return to school and to earn your master's degree in health and nutrition education at Hawthorn.
Oh, sure. Well, I might be a rarity in this case, but I actually pursued my degree personally out of personal enrichment. I went through a lot of health struggles in my life, and I saw what poor nutrition did to my health and how good nutrition improved my health. And so I ended up spending hours on the back porch every afternoon reading about nutrition. And I thought, you know what? I'm kind of a go-getter. I should just get a degree out of this. Yeah, and then it was the same time that my son went off to college, my youngest. And so I thought, you know, this is a great time to do it. And I looked around on I wanted a holistic slant. I didn't want to go to the conventional route for nutrition. And I looked online and I searched around, and Hawthorn had all the credentials, and it had a lot of affiliations with some great other organizations like the Weston A. Price Foundation, and I knew that it was the one for me, and I had a wonderful time doing the program. It never felt like work because I loved it so much, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Awesome. Well, you were a terrific student, a pleasure to have here. And, you know, I remember your goal when you started Hawthorn, Jenny, and it was kind of a 2-part goal. It was first to learn more about holistic nutrition and lifestyle practices, and second, that you wanted to develop the skills to communicate nutrition in an exciting manner in order to help others enjoy health and holistic lives. So I think these are very good goals, and I want to ask all of us here to remember them as Jenny goes through her presentation, and then we'll come back to this during the question and answer period. Sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to let everybody know it's a great opportunity when we get to the question and answer period for you to be able to communicate and pose your questions directly to Jenny. Okay, let's get focused on websites a little bit. Let's start with what prompted you to create your own website, Jenny.
Okay. About the same time that I started my program at Hawthorn, which was early in 2013, because I was doing so much reading about nutrition, I was sharing it with my friends, and a lot of them said, Jenny, you should start a website or a blog. And I actually had to look up what a blog meant. I didn't know that it meant weblog. But I thought, hey, I could do that. So I started it, and I didn't have a purpose or a plan, but I thought, I love this, and it looked like something I could be creative with, and so I just started it, and my husband helped me a little, and so my website has changed a lot over time. I started with just 2 pages, a welcome page and a blog page, and the structure has changed, and it's changed over the years as I've honed my niche, which is now the connection between beauty and nutrition. And throughout this time that I've been doing the website, I discovered that I really have a love for writing. That's my passion, and I think it comes through, and it brings me joy. And it's really why I do this website. It's just for the pure love of sharing health information with others. And I've also found, like I said, it's a fantastic and fun creative outlet.
Well, you're really good at it. So will you give us a tour of Au Natural Nutrition and talk us through it a bit?
Oh yeah, I'd love to. And as I do this, I'll try to give some tips to the listeners, so if they want to start their own website or improve their own, they can take some notes. So when you start a website, you might want to think first about how it will be organized. So the first thing you want to think of is what your main page will be. If you want to be a blogger, that'd probably be your blog page. For me, my main page is right here. This is my welcome page. And some people might call it their about page or their start here page. But basically, this is, if you go to aunaturalnutrition.com, no slashes or anything, this is the page you go to, and this is the page that gives your readers the first impression of you. And so I have my picture here. I'm going to scroll down. My logo, which has also changed throughout the years. I introduce myself. This is basically almost what Paula read word for word. And I give a little bit about my personality, that I'm kind of a glamour girl as far as it comes to nutrition. And I talk about my mission, which Paula mentioned, that I just wish that everybody could just feel absolutely beautiful by using the power of whole foods and living a holistic lifestyle. I talk about what holistic wellness means to me. And then I define au naturel nutrition, which is using whole foods for nutrient density and nourishment. And I define a natural or an au naturel lifestyle. And so that is my my main page. And then the next page that's important is the blog page, and you can find it right here. I already have a tab open, so I'm gonna click on that. And when you have a website, you don't have to have a blog page, but it's a great place to publish articles. And so on my blog page, that's where the party is on my website. That's where all the action happens. And so this is my newest blog post. It's all about refined table salt versus natural sea salt and what the difference means for your health. And so what I do with my blog posts, sometimes they're articles, sometimes they're recipes, is once they're published, I share them on social media, and I also categorize them here under these 3 tabs: health, beauty, and recipes. So I make it very easy for people to find something in the past for what they're looking for. So they can find it under these 3 tabs, or they can search for it on the search bar. And that's important, to be able to have somebody easily find what they're looking for on your website.
And it's also interesting that you keep it to 3 categories, so you're not all over the place. You have a very targeted approach to the information that you're sharing.
That's right. And I actually plan on building up this beauty tab a little bit more, adding to these beauty articles, since I said that's the niche that I'm getting into. Yeah. So I'm going to click this X and make this little box go away, but I want you to make a note of it because it's a great place for people to sign up to be on my newsletter. So I wanted to show that to people before I made it go
Show
away.
that
So
again. Point at that again.
this is the box here in the lower right corner
Okay.
where people can sign up to get on my newsletter. So I'm just going to make it go away here with this little X so people can see the whole page here. Okay. So on your blog page or on your website in general, you wanted to make it very easy for your readers to follow you and to share your work. So it's hopefully it's obvious that right here in the lower right that you can follow me on all the social media like Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, my newsletter, and some people follow blogs on an RSS feed, so I have that here too. Mm-hmm. And then also on the left part of the screen, you want to make it, I have this widget over here for sharing and saving or printing. You want to make it very easy for your readers to say share or pin a post or share it on Facebook, because the more that your readers share with others, the more traffic your website will get and the more you can help others with your health information. Well, the next page I can show you is my, or tab is my Go Shopping page. That's right here. And I don't sell my own products, although hopefully that'll be in the future someday. But what I am is an affiliate for other companies. And what that means is when I sign up to be an affiliate with a company, I might link to their site on my website. And then if one of my readers follows that link and buys something from that website, they give me a small commission. So here I have this page open. This is probably the most popular shopping page. It's called Jenny's Favorites. And these are all the things that I use personally. They're the brands that I like. So if people want to know maybe where to start with something or what I use in my kitchen, this is a great resource for that. And then
it's so nice that you have the personal validation for this. It's like you're not just recommending because you're affiliated with a company, but because you use them and believe in them.
Exactly. And I didn't always live a holistic lifestyle, so as I got into it, I added and added to this, or I might change something and then I'll change it on this page. So it's a work in progress. Mm-hmm. So one page that I don't have is a services page, and that's because I don't see private clients. But someone who's listening who wants to see private clients in any shape or form, they might want to have a services page. I'm sure that they would. And so that's important, and you certainly would want to make it easy for your clients to contact you. But what I do have here that you'd probably want under a services page is a page that I have called Your Praise, and that's basically like testimonials. I can show you that. These are all some nice comments that people have written either on here on the website or on social media about what they liked about my articles or recipes. And then I also have a page called Jenny in the Media, and that's a great page to share. Like I'm going to put this this interview on there, and this is everything I've done outside of Au Naturel Nutrition, like interviews I've done, articles I have had published on other places, my graduation from Hawthorn, of course. And let's see.
But so Jenny, the interviews and things that you've done in other places have, how did that come about? Did people find you through your website?
Exactly, they did. I actually have never gone out and sought to do an interview. People have always enjoyed my work and asked me to be a part of it, and I said yes. It's you get kind of nervous at first because you feel like an amateur, but after a while, it's exciting. So it's really nice. Mm-hmm.
After a while, you see the value of your education, and it puts you in more of a position of an emerging authority, and that you know so much more than a lot of other people, can really be supportive and helpful.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that gets to my point that a website is often a conduit for much bigger and better things, including doing interviews like this. It could be for gaining clients or customers or new jobs. I know Tara Sheffy, who was on last month, she was a great example of that. And it's great for making connections with other people in your field. Or in my case, I I'm writing a book that's based on the thesis that I wrote for Hawthorn. It's all about the beauty and nutrition and connection with the aging of the skin. And so when I get closer to finishing that book, I'll hope to shop it around to publishers, and they'll see that I already have a great body of work on my website. So a website can just, like I said, be a conduit for so many wonderful things. It can really just be a starting point.
I would think, Jenny, that under services that you could put things, certainly when you have your book, that it's there, that you do public speaking, that you could write articles, whether it's like let people know what services that you have besides clientele. Because as a health and nutrition educator, you're doing many things. And yeah, you can build that up quite well.
Absolutely. Thank you. I plan on doing that. And then the last part of my little tour, I'll go back to my blog post here, I wanted to stress the importance of building your list. And what that means is these are the people that sign up for your newsletter. They give you their email address. They are your most loyal followers. And if all of social media disappeared, these are the people that still want to hear from you. So you always want to be growing your list. That's really important. And so I use a newsletter service. I use Mad Mimi. There's MailChimp, and there's a whole bunch of other services. And so when people sign up for my newsletter, once I publish a new blog post, they get that emailed to them. And it's usually about every other week. And so I provide something in return for people to give me their email address and sign up for my list. And so what I offer on the book is on my website is this little book that I wrote called Make a Fresh Start with Whole Foods. And so when they enter their email address, this is the page that they go to, and this is the cover of the book right here. And how this book came about was early on in my program at Hawthorn, we had an assignment where we had to get 5 people to agree to try to eliminate refined foods for 2 weeks and replace them with whole foods. And being the overachiever that I am, I got 20 people to sign up for it. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up making like a little booklet for my people doing this with great resources, and that morphed into this book, which I think now looks professional. And so this is a fabulous resource for anyone out there who wants to show people how that you can make a fresh start with whole foods and eliminate the refined ones and transform your life with nourishment. So.
It's a great read. It's very well done, and I just have to say how fabulous it is that you started in your very first course developing content. And, first of all, the assignment was for a minimum of 5 people, so you built it to 20, and it's a testament to also your enthusiasm and ability to get people interested and engaged in the work that you're doing. I think it's just fabulous that you developed educational materials in every single course that you are using professionally now in just such a beautiful way. It's terrific.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I forgot to mention that when I started this website about the same time, like I said, when I started my degree, I would take my assignments and turn them into articles and post them. So someone who's been with me for a long time has gotten quite an education because they were learning along with me. And so all those articles are still on the website, and so people can get, an incredible amount of information from the website about nutrition.
I agree. It's a great educational resource. But you also made a good point here, Jenny, that you're very consistent in your blog posts, that you post something at least every couple of weeks, and then those are linked and go out elsewhere. You're also linked to Hawthorn's website, so every time you publish, it populates to our website too, so you have an avenue of people, the readers are gaining access to you from your own website, and then maybe becoming familiar to you about you through Hawthorn as well.
Yes, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, and one thing I wanted to point out to people is that as far as building your list, you want to give them many opportunities to sign up. So it's subtle, but it is all over my website, opportunities sign up for the list. And so I have it right here on the sidebar of every blog post. I have the pop-up that I made go away in the corner, and I have a pop-up that it's nice in the corner. It's not one of those ones that bother you. It shows up right up in the middle of the screen. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. I don't like that. And then I have it at the bottom of every blog post. I have it right here. I have a tab for it. So really, if someone's looking for my newsletter, they really can't miss it. So that's how important it is.
All right, well done.
Thank you.
Are you ready to move on to the next point?
I'm ready.
All right, I think that it's a good time to switch and talk about how someone would go about starting their own website.
Okay, a good idea. All right, I'll go back to my welcome page here. Let me go up to the top. So the first thing you'd want to do to start a website, whether it's about nutrition or anything else really, is that you need to choose your domain name. And my domain name is aunaturalnutrition.com. And you need to choose this wisely because you're kind of stuck with it. So some people might just choose their own name, their business name. I actually came up with this name in a dream. I woke up with it in my head. So you never know.
Good insights.
Yeah, right. So the next step you want to do after you choose your domain name is that you need to select a publishing platform. And so this is basically the online program that you use to build your website. And so I think that a lot of people use WordPress.org and they really like it. I use Weebly.com and I really like it. I've actually worked on both and I kind of prefer Weebly. And there are plenty of other website publishing platforms you can use. Those are just two big ones. And after you choose that, you want to choose a web hosting service. And that's just what makes your website live on the internet. And so I use Weebly again for that, for ease. Some people might use HostGator or Bluehost. There are also a whole bunch of those, and I can't really tell you which one's better. That's not my forte. But so after you get your website going, or at least you pick those out, you need to pick a theme. And the theme is how your website is structured, which it means like where the menu is. My menu is up here on top. I have it so the logo stays up here. And so this is when the creativity comes into your website, is when you pick a theme. So I have a tab open here. These are just a few of the themes on Weebly, but all the other publishing platforms have themes you can choose from. And so these are just examples of themes, and you can see that the websites all look a little different. And so this one here, right here on the bottom that's brown, that's actually my theme. It doesn't look anything like my website, but I liked how it performs and how it all works. So you can change the colors and the fonts and the pictures, of course, but you want to pick a theme that you like, that maybe will go along with how you want your website to be structured. And then, so after you get going a while, you want to understand what SEO is. And I didn't know this for a long time, maybe not till a year ago really, but SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And what that means is how easy it is for people to find your website on search engines like Google. And so you want to know a little bit about keywords and good titles, and having a blog itself is actually great for SEO because it gives Google much more content to find your website, and it also keeps readers just coming back more and more, so your traffic is better, and Google knows that too. And so with SEO, you want to watch your stats. And let me show you here. Oh, these are my Weebly stats. They're live right now. And so these are the two main stats that people would see: unique visitors and page views. Weebly gives them to me by week, but normally when someone quotes their stats, they quote them by the month. And page views right here is the one big stat that like say bloggers would quote to other bloggers. So I would multiply this by 4 and say that I have about 60,000 page views per month.
So your unique viewers, are those new viewers a week?
No, these are new and used. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just, or not used, but new and returning visitors. Yeah.
And why do you multiply that by 4 to get 60?
Because normally the page views are quoted by the month.
Okay.
You know, I mean, if you just say I have so many page views, it's normally by the month, so that's
okay.
why. Okay. So, and then I can even go deeper into Weebly here and look at the page views. It's low here because the day isn't done. And I normally get more page views and visitors in the winter when people are on their, you know, their computers or their iPads more than in the summertime they're outside. And so this tells me like the top pages that people have visited this month. This page is the one that ends in feed. That's just my main blog page, and this one here is my welcome page. And these are the blog posts that are the most popular actually this month, and which usually coincides with what I'm posting on Pinterest that month. And then you could see that most of my readers come from Pinterest and Facebook, Google, stumble upon some things I never even heard of. And then also you'd want to sign up for Google Analytics, which is also great for stats. This is my Google Analytics page, or one page of it, and I think this page is fun because I get to see where people come to my website from all over the world, and so I'm always amazed at the countries that people come to Au Natural Nutrition on. Like, look at this, I have 3 readers in Madagascar. Who knew, you know? So I think that's pretty cool.
You do.
So, yeah. And then if you start a website, let me show you at the bottom of this blog post here. Is that my blog page or my blog post? Let me go to the end. This is my footer. It's on the bottom of every page of my website, and so you have to be sure that you include the fine print, which first is my disclaimer, and it basically says that I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on the internet, and this website is for educational purposes only. That's very important. And then also I have a disclosure which says that if I supply any affiliate links that I'll earn a small commission, and that is also required.
I'm very glad to see this on your website. You know, it's certainly taught in your business course at Hawthorn, and it's just a very responsible thing to do.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know that I didn't, like I said, I started my degree for personal enrichment, and I didn't really plan on having a career out of it, but Hawthorn sure prepared me very, very, very well for that. Yes.
Okay, let's talk about how you differentiate yourself from other websites.
Okay. Yeah. Let me find another blog post. Do you have anything you want me to look up in particular?
Oh no, you get to you know where you're going there. I was there recently, but let's look at some health and beauty.
Well, I was just thinking this is the start of summer, so let's look at a post for sunscreen. How about that?
Good one.
All right. So this is an article I wrote about if sunscreen is good or bad for you. Anyway, so how I differentiate myself is that I'm an author. I'm not just a blogger, because there's nothing wrong with being a blogger, but anyone can start a website and call themselves a blogger. I consider myself a helper because I have the credentials of a master's degree from Hawthorn University, and I'm really proud of that, and I take that seriously. And so because Hawthorn prepared me well, I know that I always need to provide information sources in my articles, and so I either provide them at the bottom of every article, or see, in this article I provide them within the article at the end of the paragraph here. And so it is amazing to me how many times I might read someone else's article and they don't provide any scientific sources, or they might link to another article and that doesn't have any sources either.
Right.
And that just doesn't make them look legitimate. I want scientific backing for what I'm reading, and I know how important that is, and I include that in my website.
Well, you learned it at Hawthorn, and I'm very pleased to see it being carried out here. It's, for to get responsible, reliable, trustworthy information, you want your references and your resources shown.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, I take that very seriously. Let's see, how else I differentiate myself is, like you said in my intro, that I provide a touch of glamour to nutrition. I know there are a lot of different types of authors or bloggers out there. Some of them are mommy blog, some are like Crunchy or Cave Girl, or some of them run farms. There's a lot of span in the holistic world. Well, I'm more of like a country club kind of girl. I play tennis a lot, and so that's my website, and that personality shines through, and I'm okay with that. I'm just being myself. So that's a little different, there's a lot of my readers are the same. So, and
I think authenticity goes a long way, Jenny.
Thank you. Let's see. Another way I differentiate myself is that my website is designed to share important information. It's not designed to make money necessarily, although there's nothing wrong with that. But if you've noticed, I don't have any paid ads on my website. I think that they don't look very good. I think a lot of them are kind of questionable, and so I just don't want them on my website. And I also don't do any sponsored posts, which means I don't get paid by any company to promote any product in particular. The products that I am an affiliate of are the products that I like and use. And that's my choice. I just don't want to take the time to do that. And also, my website, I think, is really nice and colorful, and it's well organized. A lot of websites I have a hard time navigating, or a lot of them, they kind of all look alike, and I hope that mine looks a little more different. I hope that my vibrant personality shines through and how colorful it is.
Oh, it does. I'm pleased by this, and and applaud you for it.
Thank you.
You bet. Let's go on and talk about, we all want people to visit our website. So how do you go about attracting readers?
Sure. Yes. This is something I kind of had to learn over time. Well, number one, it's excellent content that provides value to your readers is number one. So no matter if your website is beautiful or not, if your content that you're providing isn't important information, they're not going to come back. And so that's why I strive for quality over quantity. And so I might, like I said, only publish a new article or recipe every 2 weeks, because I work hard on every single one to make them as best that I can, that if they were going to get graded, they would get an A+. And so because I just do this more as a hobby than a career, I have that luxury. And so I want the quality to be the best. And so that attracts readers, the important, excellent content. And then also, if you interact with your followers, then they get to coming back, because it's kind of cool to talk to somebody else online or talk to an expert. And if you can build loyal readers just by answering a question, and it's easy to do and it's fun. And so it's important to perhaps include a call to action at the end of your articles, like, tell me about your experience, or what do you think about this recipe, tell me if you tried it. Or you definitely want something like that if you have a services page, like, call me today, something like that. But basically, the best way you can promote your content and to attract readers is by using social media. Because at first, you think you've written something fabulous, but if you just sit there and don't do anything with it after it's published, nobody's going to read it. So a lot of the work happens after you publish your blog posts. And so, like I mentioned, Pinterest is my number one social media that I use. I can show you my Pinterest page. I have that open here.
Sure.
And so let's see, I have 23,000 followers today. It grows by about 100 every 2 days, maybe. And how I use Pinterest is that I belong to a whole bunch of group boards, and these 4 boards here on top, these are actually my group boards, and I belong to a whole bunch of others. And so for every blog post that I make pins that go with it, and the other group boards that I belong to, they allow me to pin my pins on them, and then that's how word gets out. And so I am very proud of my pins. Let me show you my blog post pins. These are all my pins that I've created for all of my different blog posts, and I have a lot of fun making these. Sometimes it's more fun to make these than it is to write the articles, because I really get to be creative. And so I think my pins really attract readers because they're creative. They're just not a picture, you know. They're a lot more than that. So anyway, I enjoy that. And also, if you can also use social media, like I said, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I know a lot of people are into video. I've never done that, like YouTube or Periscope. That's very popular. I think it's really popular among like people younger than me. So that's what kids are into these days. And one of the last ways that I attract readers is that I submit articles or recipes to other web media companies like PaleoDocs or Mind Body Green, and someone can do that. And I can't say I've gotten the best traffic from that, but it looks great on a resume. So, yeah.
Okay, absolutely. Good benefit there. And, you know, we're looking at a few minutes here to wrap this up, but I want to be able to have you address networking.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that really quick then. So networking is so very vital if you meeting other authors or peers in your field will go a long way into growing your business or your website. And so I've met a lot of my peers actually on Facebook groups that are specifically for website authors in the holistic field. I learned so much from them. You can share others' information. They will share yours. If you can, it's great to attend conferences and masterminds, because meeting your peers in person is priceless for networking. And also be available for interviews and summits like the one I'm doing today. And even if you feel like an amateur, just say yes. You don't have to get into specifics, you know, just talk about what you know, and people will think it's wonderful. It always works out. So
I agree. Well, do you have some closing thoughts here?
Yeah, the last thing I would say is that if you're a writer, it's great to have an avatar for who you write for. And this was actually a new concept for me. I heard about a year ago. And this means that you imagine the specifics of your intended reader and you write for him or her. So for my book, which I'm writing about the aging of the skin and how nutrition plays a role, I imagine like a 30 to 60-year-old middle-class woman who noticed that she's aging faster than she'd like. And I write for her. And it is amazing at how well the words flow from you when you do that.
You know, it's almost direct communication. You know, it's almost conversational the way it flows from you. I really like this concept that you're introducing, and thank you.
You're welcome.
And I imagine organization is a huge part of all of this.
Oh, yes. Like when you are running a website in the background, if you are organized, I mean, the better your system, the more enjoyable your experience will be when you run a website. So like if you have files, you know, keep your files in order, your photos. I have a checklist for every blog post that I write so I don't forget anything. Yeah, so the more organized you are, just the better your website will be, even if your readers, you know, they don't see what goes behind the scenes, but it'll show up in the quality of your work.
I agree. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Jenny. You inspired me. How about you, everybody else? I'm feeling good about this. So I'd like to take it, if you have some time for questions and answers, Jenny, I can
Absolutely.
open this up. But okay. I will, okay, let's look here just a second. This is a two-part question. How did you decide on which platform to use for your website? And Anita's saying that she's not very active on social media, and do you think it's essential?
Okay. I chose the platform Weebly because my husband had a website on Weebly. That's the truth. But early on, I tried switching over to WordPress because I heard how fabulous it is, and I couldn't. I couldn't. I don't even know what the word is. It's technical. I couldn't move my stuff over to WordPress very well. But a lot of people choose WordPress because it's supposed to be the best for SEO, and that is really important. And they also have like a lot of, I think they call them, they're kind of like widgets, but that's not what they call them, plugins. They call them plugins. And there's a whole lot of plugins you can choose on WordPress. And I do believe that in the past that was true about the SEO, but Weebly has come an incredible way just in the 3 years I've been with them for SEO that I really don't think that we're lagging really behind anymore. So I can, if you want to see what it looks like to do things on Weebly in the background, I can show you if there's time.
Sure.
Okay. I'll open up and edit my site, and it actually, there we go. It looks like my site, except for that you can, let's see, it takes a minute here. It's loading. Of course, it's got a lot of information, so it's slow. So it looks like my website, but you can add things to it. Like if I wanted to add an image on top of this, I would just drag it up there and put it up there. It's really user-friendly. I think it's probably easier to start on Weebly than it is on WordPress, but that doesn't mean it's good in the long run. But I can tell you that I'm really happy with Weebly, and I don't plan on changing. So
Okay.
I sound like a commercial.
That's a good. No, it's a good testimonial, though. It's like, you know, I appreciate how honest you are and really authentic in your responses. Thanks.
Oh, thank you. And as far as the social aspect of it, like, I think it depends on what your goals are. If you want, like, if you're like me and your whole purpose is to just purely share information with others and help the world get healthy, then I think that social media probably is important. But if you are someone who's just local and treating clients locally, and word of mouth is your best source of business, then maybe you don't need that as much. Maybe you don't even need a blog page. It kind of just depends on what your goals are. But social media is a way for your name to get known, you know, much better.
Yeah. Okay, next question is, who do you use for your website hosting, shopping cart? She missed the who you use for building your customer list.
Oh, for building my customer list, I use Mad Mimi. You mean she means my my newsletter list?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I use Mad Mimi, and I started with them quite a while ago on their free, like, you know, when you're a beginner, a lot of the things that you use to build your website are free, and then when you get a lot more people, then they start charging you a little. So, which is good. So I got in there because I had a great free deal, and I really like Mad Mimi. I haven't used anybody else, so yeah.
And is it different for your website hosting for your shopping cart?
Oh, well, my website hosting, I use Weebly for that. So they are the ones that keep me alive. But as far as a shopping cart, I don't have a shopping cart because I don't sell my own products, but they do have that option on Weebly where you can have your own store and sell things.
So when you do make your own products, you'll have that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, that's a great feedback here from Lori Fozo. Thank you for this. It says your website's bright, fun, and easy to navigate. She's also a Hawthorn graduate and completely agree that every course enabled her to create resources that she's using in her practice as a nutrition consultant. She created her business website name on a bike ride at a state park. So yes, our insights come mostly when we're not sitting here staring at our computer screens, is what I noticed. Good for you, Lori.
That's great. Thank you for the nice compliment.
You bet. Do you use a web designer, or did you load all the information to Weebly yourself?
No, I did it all myself.
Yep.
And I designed my logo myself. I think a lot of people, when they get bigger than me, they have a lot of, they hire a virtual assistant, and they do a lot of designing, and they might do a lot of the social media work. I haven't done that yet, but I can tell you that there's a lot of programs out there. Like I use one called Tailwind for pinning, because I'm pinning thousands of pins every month, but I can set that up, a whole month of pins, I can set that up in 2 hours, and then it goes automatically for the rest of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things you can automate on a website.
Mm-hmm.
So,
can you talk a little bit more about your checklist that you've developed for yourself for your blog posts?
well, sure, I'll get it out. Let's see, I have a checklist. The first part of it is for before the post goes live, so I'll read it to you. Like, I make sure I have a catchy title and that I do my pins. I put alt text on pictures, and what that means is when someone goes to pin it, it like has a description underneath of it of what it's all about. When I start...
Were you going to show your checklist, Jenny?
I just have it as a Word document.
Okay, all right. No,
so
fine.
I don't have a checklist that I can show people. I'm sorry. I make sure that I start every article with a blurb for social media. That way I can easily cut and paste that, so I don't have to, write something all over again. Just like all the little details that you don't want to forget. And then I have the second part of my checklist is what I do when the post is live. So I always save a file for myself. That's really important. I always back up, I will take the blog post and I'll put it in the category it belongs. I have a checklist for every social media thing that I do. If I mention anybody else, if I mention any other bloggers or any affiliates, I'll let them know so they can share it too. Yeah, it's I'd be happy to share it with somebody. I have a contact. My contact is in my footer here. Where it is, right here.
There you go. You can get in touch with Jenny right there.
If you want to contact me, I'd be happy to send you my my post checklist.
So generous, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anita'd like to know where you find your Pinterest and Facebook groups.
Oh, well, let's see. For the Pinterest ones, you can just, let's see, let me go back to my main page here. That's taken forever, of course. You can search for them right on top here on the search bar. Mm-hmm. But if you like pages, like I like a lot of people, other holistic authors, you will see that the groups that they belong to, and then you can go on there and ask to be added. I mean, somebody can go on mine. I belong to 255 boards, and most of them are not mine. And so you could scroll down and see what they are, and then you can ask the board owner if you could be added to the board. And the board owner is the one, it's the first circle. So like if I click on my own, this one's my own. I'm the first circle, which means I'm the owner of that board. So you just need to ask the owner of the board if you can join. And as far as the Facebook groups, I think that I got into them because I met people at a conference that I went to for wellness media, and some of them said, hey, you should really join this board, and that kind of grew from there. So that's a great example of good networking. So, but I'm sure you can search for them too on Facebook.
Right. Libby says that while social media is the method of the day, it seems very time consuming. How much time do you spend daily on your site?
Oh, I have a lot of people ask me that question, and it's the hardest question I have to answer, because there might be weeks where I do nothing, and then some weeks where I really get into it and I spend most of the day. I would say on average I spend 10 to 15 hours a week on my website. Mm-hmm. So
you know, it's a main source for you of the work that you're doing, so I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not a lot. I could be writing more, but I just, like I said, I do it for enjoyment. So I just do it when I feel like it. And I often feel like it because I love it. So.
All right. Well, it shows. There
Thank
was a
you.
question here of asking for your email, and Alex has posted it to the chat box that it can be found at your website under your contact.
Thank you, Alex.
Right.
All right.
Okay. Number of people are saying impressive site, Jenny.
Thank you. So here's my contact page. If you didn't get the email, you can contact me.
Okay,
Right
great.
there. So,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. I want to close this up. I want to remind you that when we started, I told everybody what your goal was when you started at Hawthorn, and I'll remind us now. That it was first to learn more about holistic nutrition and lifestyle practices, and secondly, that you want to develop the skills to communicate nutrition in an exciting manner in order to help others enjoy healthy, holistic lives. So I'll ask you first, Jenny, do you feel like you've achieved this goal?
Absolutely. I give Hawthorn an A+ in that department. Absolutely. Yes.
And Hawthorn gives you an A+ too.
Thank you.
Yeah, and people are posting, it's like they agree.
Thank you.
I think you nailed that one.
Awesome.
I look forward to your book coming out. Your thesis was very exciting and an inspirational read. I can't say that about a lot of theses, you know.
Oh, well, thank you.
So very
Yes,
scholarly, but a very impressive read. So I look forward to see it come out in print.
thank you. I'm a little more than half done with it. I'm taking my time on that too, making sure, it's wonderful. And I think people are really going to be receptive to it because there's a lot of books out there about the connection between health and beauty, but mine focuses on aging of the skin and what to do to forestall the aging process with nutrition.
Well, there's a little bit of vanity in many of us, and so we'll appreciate this content.
Oh yeah, well, I'll
I
be
can
first
tell
to
you.
admit that.
And since I fit into your demographic, I'll be pleased.
All right, thank you, Paula.
All right, everybody. This was inspiring. I hope you'll meet me here again. And to help me spread the word for our next All About alumni, we're going to air on July 6th with Autumn Smith. And Autumn graduated from Hawthorn's clinical training program, our Masters of Science in Holistic Nutrition. She's going to be sharing about Paleo Valley. It's an incredibly successful business that she started and run. And she's going to focus her content on dietary strategies for anxiety, which was the topic of her thesis that she's developed quite well in her business now. So we'll hear more about that. Again, that's Wednesday, July 6th at 12 noon Pacific time, 3 Eastern. It's a great story, and I sure look forward to sharing it with all of you. I'll remind you that there is a survey to fill out after this presentation ends. It really helps us to have your feedback. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Jenny's presentation, and anybody that you'd like to hear from that you know is a Hawthorn graduate that you'd like to make a suggestion for, or if you'd like to, please let me know. I'll take a look at it first thing in the morning. Until then, I want to wish you all the best of health and take good care.